Good afternoon, everybody, on this last day of 2010. And since Paul is still wrangling kids, I hope his sanity holds out through all this. I figured it would be really kind of a neat idea to bring one of our newest writers at WinExtra on board to do the last show of the year with. And I'd like to introduce you to Holden Page. Now, Holden, I met you, this not about a year and a half ago through Buzz, actually, I think it was.
Friend feed.
Friend feed,
yeah,
that was it,
yep.
Yes. And
same difference.
Yeah. Yeah, not much difference of that at all. Now, pre-show we were talking about this, but you plan on becoming a teacher, and I find that interesting. Are you doing this? You said mainly because there was a family kind of connection to it, but given the way education is now today, do you think technology can have the Bill Gates wants to re-image education using technology? Mm-hmm. Now, you're at the age where you're just coming into this, but you've got a good solid background with the internet and technology, and you're going into an area where you can help teach kids. Do you think we could benefit from a Bill Gates kind of idea of re-imaging?
I don't know. It has to be a balancing act, right? Because technology, while it's a good thing in schools and whatnot, it provides a lot of opportunity for students to mess around. I mean, that's what I did on computers. So what we have to be able to do is create just, I don't know, like an intranet, basically, of where the focus of the technology is still on school and not on a bunch of other things. Because while I'd love to have an open internet in the schools and all that good stuff, it's just not plausible, especially when you have a bunch of hormonal high school students.
Yeah, I kind of think back to my high school days, and I'm going, oh man, if I'd had the internet back then, I would have been totally screwed. Totally screwed.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a balancing act. I think a lot of things need to be figured out first, especially privacy concerns as to, if students do certain things at home, does it transgress over to the school, or vice versa?
Yeah.
Where's the line drawn versus if technology is more integrated into the school system?
Yeah. Now, we should also point out, too, that you are a Mac user. You are not a Windows user. And the reason you actually came to write at WinExtra was because you wanted to cover Windows Phone 7.
Yeah.
If I recall. And you sort of branched out from that, which is really good to see. So maybe in 2011 we'll see you switching to a Windows machine?
Well, actually, my girlfriend just 2 days ago was looking at buying a Mac, and I got her to buy a Samsung. It was about $200 cheaper than the Mac she wanted, and it was a lot better. And it supported her Zune software, and that was the main driver. Because I mean, there's ways to get to load music to the Zune via the Mac. It's not good for people like my girlfriend. She doesn't want to mess with it, and she likes the Zune software, and I really like the Zune software too.
I use it. I use it on the desktop. That's my media player. I love it.
I've been thinking about writing a post for a while talking about that Microsoft needs to just adopt the 10% market into the Zune.
Yeah, write it up. I'd love to read it. Now, news-wise, we're actually starting to get a little bit of news dribbling out, but we're going into the weekend, and then CES will be where the big stuff breaks out. But the first headline of the day is that Microsoft warns of Word attacks. Now, apparently there is a bug in Microsoft Word 2002, 2003, 2007, and 2010 that if you use a RTF file, you are open to being attacked. Now, this is not really this more. Consider this WinExtra's last PSA announcement of the year, because there's really not much to talk about on this one. There really isn't. So if you're running Word, folks, get it patched. Quit being an idiot.
Do you know what? Something really funny is the guy at Best Buy. Because I went out to help my girlfriend pick out the computer, and she went out to buy it the next day. And the guy at Best Buy said to turn auto updates to Windows 7 off.
What?
Yep. He did, and here was his reason why. Because it'll slow down your computer. Now, I got her a $900 computer that is better than the MacBook Pro.
You know, there are two...
And I was like, even if it slowed down your computer,
you won't know. But here's the thing, and this is a good point, too, because there's... Wherever you go on the web, you always see all kinds of Windows tweaks, all right? Mm-hmm. And two of the most prominent ones are to turn off Windows Update and to turn off System Restore.
Yep.
And if there are two things you should not be doing in your wildest nightmare is to turn off those two things. Now, granted, with Windows Update, you can set it to notify you before it installs. So you can then go and change it if you don't want to install something. But the idea of turning off System Restore has got to be one of the dumbest, stupidest ideas. It's not that you don't have the hard drive space anymore. Like, we're talking terabyte drives here, folks. Come on. All right?
She has a 640 gig hard drive. I mean,
like, she's not going to fill it. Right? But I can't count the times since System Restore has actually become a viable alternative, and that would probably be the XP Service Pack 3. Vista was good. Windows 7 is awesome. Mm-hmm. But that has saved my butt more times than I can shake a stick at. It really has.
Yep. No, because she texted me and she was like, yeah, the Best Buy guy said to turn it off, so I did. I was like, no, that Best Buy guy's an idiot. You turn that right back on.
Yeah, he wants you to bring the machine in so they can charge you $35 to update the machine for you.
Right.
Yeah. Now,
so that was interesting.
Yeah. Now I know you're a big Kinect fan, right?
Yeah.
Like you're loving what this doing. Well, this next one will be right up your alley. The first commercial Kinect motion capture software is under development. In the space of less than 2 months, we are going to be having commercial third-party applications being developed for a brand new technology out of Microsoft. When has that happened?
I think since I've been alive, I haven't seen such a thing.
I love the Kinect. I don't have one yet, and it's sort of in hopefully my timetable for sometime in 2011. Mm-hmm. But I am absolutely amazed, outside of the gaming arena, what has happened around the Kinect. And I think I wrote about it the other day, I think potentially 2011, the Kinect could prove to be the breakout technology for computers.
Yes. That most definitely will be. There's no doubt about it. I mean, the Kinect has opened up a whole just new range of things. Like, gaming is just a limited view of what the Kinect can do, obviously. The sooner that Microsoft officially supports... I mean, right now they're just letting it go, right? They're just like, all right, people are hacking this technology, whatever. But as soon as they provide a way for them to be certified, I guess, is when the market will really, really explode. Now, and that's what I'm excited for.
I think was it you that was telling me about a friend of yours that you showed the Kinect WoW or World of Warcraft?
Yes.
And what was his reaction to that?
He was just dumbfounded, basically. I mean, it was amazing to him. I mean, you could see his eyes just lit up. And this is a guy that will play, like, World of Warcraft all day long. Like, it's called Cataclysm, I think, just came out.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been on that for 24/7. It's done nothing good for him.
But the moment you showed him the Kinect part of it, it was like, this is a whole new world.
Yep, it is. And I mean, obviously he raised the atypical questions like, how would I control, like, I don't know, it's called the action bar and all this stuff, but just the prospect of him being able to move the World of Warcraft character himself and not using a keyboard just fascinated him. And, well, I mean, based on my understanding from the video as well, it actually could be applied to almost any computer game.
Yeah.
So
that has keyboard mapping anyway at this point. Yeah. keeping in line with the games, one of the things that upset a lot of the indie game developers was when Microsoft made the latest shuffle in the Xbox. Do you have an Xbox?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, okay. They made this change in how the indie section of the Xbox marketplace got changed around, and the developers saw a drop in revenue. So what they did was a couple of them got together to create something called the Indie Games Winter Uprising. And this was a way for them to sort of band together to promote their stuff and try and get it moved up the chain. But apparently it's been working so well that Microsoft has turned around and gone to them and said, okay, we want to work with you to promote this. That is, again, we're seeing a Microsoft that this isn't something that has happened.
And I mean, that's part of that culture change, too, as well. I mean, they're willing to embrace things other than themselves, basically. Yeah. It's not their way or the highway anymore. So, I mean, the Xbox 360 is a very important platform to them, obviously. And by making just this goodwill, basically, with developers, I mean, they're only doing great things for themselves here. Yeah. I mean, they're going to attract more indie game developers via this, because it's like, wow, if I do something great enough here, I could potentially get this from Microsoft, you know? I mean, now Microsoft is willing to look at people and say, wow, you've done something great with our product, how can we help you along with this? I don't know, I've never seen them do that before.
I have been a Microsoft user now for, well, DOS 2, DOS 4, okay?
I was alive.
Yeah, way back. And I have been involved as a developer, I've run bulletin board services, I've run, just about every single software. I've been I've done everything from, small indie magazines, you name it. But it's always been through Microsoft software. And in all those years, this has got to be one of the biggest shifts that I have seen in Microsoft mentality towards both not just a developer, but also the general consumer, because they've been such an enterprise-minded company. They get enterprise. They understand that. Not a problem. All right?
Yeah.
But this is the first time that I've ever seen such a shift in wanting to communicate. Yeah, please the consumer. And I find it amazing. This next thing, the reason I want to touch on that, you wrote a story over at WinExtra the other day. Windows Phone 7 DRM broken. I think I should care more. Now, as interesting as the idea is of the Windows Phone 7 being broken, blah blah blah, it was going to happen. Anybody who didn't think it wouldn't is an idiot. But what I found interesting, okay, both again as an ex-developer, all right. And as someone who talks about technology, is the response of your friends when you told them how they could break the DRM and get basically the apps for free. Mm-hmm. Tell us, give a breakdown so people can know what it was.
So when I tried to explain it to them, I told them about it. I even showed them the video that was on Windows Phone Central on how to do this, all right? And they looked at me with this look, and my girlfriend first asked this question. She said, so wait, I can't download apps like I do on my Android phone. I have to download apps to the computer. So I already lost her. I was like, no, you can still download apps through the Windows Phone 7. I was like, you don't have to have a computer. So, I mean, she's gone. And then my roommate's just sitting there, and he's like, Holden, that's a lot of work, and I'm really lazy. And I was like, well, yeah, I know you are. And he's like, I would just buy it. He's like, I wouldn't want to mess with the hassle. It's not worth my time. Yeah. And I was like, exactly here. Like, that's the initial problem. And then it took another 10 minutes explaining to my girlfriend of how you actually download the Windows Phone 7 apps. So, I mean, really what it comes down to is it's free versus convenience, I guess. Getting things for free on the internet is relatively easy for people like you and I. But for people like my mom or my roommate or really my girlfriend, it's hard. There's technologies they don't understand.
We talked about this when you posted this, and we were talking to IM about it. And I was saying like, well, if they find it that hard for DR, to remove the DR, imagine what it would be. Because I come from a point, and I still use it, is the binary news groups. Okay, which you need a program like Grabbit, you need Par2, you need blah 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 to do all this work just to get a file. Okay, and we're not saying what the file is, but it's a file.
Google binary news groups, Stephen.
Are you serious?
No idea.
Awesome. I love it. So, but, then we talk about the fact of, the torrents. Like, obviously, you understand what the torrents are, but trying to explain to your friends who obviously already have this mindset of, we don't want this, how would they use something to use news groups or to use even torrents? It was mind-boggling.
Yep. I mean, they wouldn't. The expectation now is that you should be able to click buy now and have that right now. Like,
so
there should be no work involved. You should be able to hook up your credit card or PayPal account. A lot of people understand PayPal. My roommate's doing one of that. So hook up credit card or PayPal account, and then be able to click whatever you want from there. And
do you want to know something? You have in the States, in the Xbox Live marketplace, you have PayPal.
Yep, that's what I use.
In Canada, we don't have it.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know, it's stupid. And I've asked Microsoft Canada point blank why we don't. Another side little note, in Zune desktop, you guys have the smart DJ button?
Yep.
We don't.
You Canadians are just getting screwed.
Anyway,
that's what you get for being too far up north.
Yeah. The last subject, this one is kind of a roundabout because I guess it's been a couple weeks now. People have been talking about Delicious being either dumped by Yahoo or sold by Yahoo, and Alan Stern over at Center Networks had an interesting post where he suggested that Discus should acquire Delicious. And that was followed up by a post from Michael Arrington over at TechCrunch where he said there's no way that really Yahoo could sell Delicious without a lot of problems because apparently they've integrated Delicious so deeply into Yahoo technologies that it would be incredible. They basically would have to license the technology so that they could then let somebody else buy the product. Now, my thought is Microsoft should buy Delicious. Now, you said pre-show you've never used Delicious. You don't even use bookmarking. So this really doesn't have much of a draw to you other than the fact that maybe as a tech question type of thing. Given the options, wouldn't it make sense for Microsoft to buy it, really? They would get immediate cred on the web. Okay, for saving a favorite thing, okay? And then because they're already so closely tied with Yahoo as it is, I'm sure something could be worked out as far as whatever technology needs to be done around, and then incorporate that into Bing.
Yep. I mean, I think the biggest value Microsoft could get would be saving Delicious. I mean, as far as I'm aware, it has a very big nostalgic value for the web. Like, Delicious was the point of where Web 2.0 really was a kickoff. It was a highlight, basically. And a lot of people, I still know a lot of people who use the service daily. Personally, I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And to be honest, and to be clear, I've never used Delicious. I've only just started using two other ones, pinboard.in and Digio, Diigo.com. But they're for two separate different reasons. But I think, would it be worth Microsoft spending the $5 or $10 million to buy Delicious for that cred?
I mean, what's 5 or 10 million to them, I guess? I mean, the worst that honestly could happen is they figure out, I mean, it doesn't even have to be a really good integration. Just figure out a quick way to integrate Delicious, and I mean, basically just build up some cred. And as much as Microsoft is seeing success now, and I mean, the tech press is really warming up to Microsoft.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah, but there is still some friction there.
Yeah.
I mean, all you have to do is, I mean, go to a few blogs and
Reddit.
Voila, you see.
News.
I mean, there's just a lot. There's still a lot of hate out there for them, and I mean, it would boost their image, and yeah, there could be some good functionality added to the services such as Bing or even a few of their Windows Live services, like Microsoft Messenger. I think would be a good one for them. I mean, just having that ability to bookmark, because I hate when I'm sitting in links or whatever. Like when you sent me the links over IM. Like, I wish I had a place to just kind of, like, copy those over, but I have to go through and search them and whatnot. I think there's going to be a lot of integration. Would it be a big deal? No, not really. But would it be nice? Yeah.
$5 to $10 million. Yeah, $5 to $10 million nice. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, and it is since it is last year, and I know you have an important engagement to make it to this afternoon with your family. We will call this last show of the year to an end. I want to thank Holden Page for joining me. You can be found also, besides at WinExtra, you can be found at pagesaresocial.com, I do believe.
Yes.
You still right there?
I'm working on it. I'm dedicating so much time to you, Stephen.
And we love it. Now we can only afford to pay you. Anyway, and on that note, folks, all of us at WinExtra hope you have a really happy New Year's Eve and a really great 2011 in the pipeline for you. And I guess we'll next see you in January of 2011. This is Stephen. That's Holden from WinExtra. Ciao.